Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to be reviewing the Platinum Hydro Builder from Optimum Nutrition. It's the latest in their new Platinum Hydro line. They've been having they had the Hydro Way out first, and now it's the Platinum Hydro Builder. So let's go ahead and run through the ingredients and kind of discuss what we're looking at here. There's 40 servings in this container, by the way, and this is the, what size is this? The 4.4, and then there's a 2.2.
There's a 2.2, I believe, yeah. So generally a 2-pound container and a 4-pound container. Yeah, you can look at it that way.
That's what you're looking at. So, well, let's run through the ingredients and what you can expect from this product.
Okay, first ingredient is Micronized Pure Creatine Monohydrate, and there is 5 grams of that. So
that's good. Very
good dosage of creatine. Next, you've got Beta Power Natural Betaine, 2.5 gram, which is also a hefty dose of that. Now, in terms of betaine and where it comes from, I guess it comes from sugar beets. There have been some studies to show that it can help with increasing nitric oxide. And I think that you were looking at that study
yeah, if you read the fine print, kind of the one study that found that it did increase nitric oxide levels, it was in older and middle-aged people who otherwise had lower basal levels of nitric oxide. So it brought them back up to normal. But another study, well-designed, peer-reviewed study showed that in young, active males, actually, that it had no effect in terms of nitric oxide levels. So there was no effect on nitrites or nitrates. So the thought is that maybe it can help people who are older, as far as that goes. So that's in terms of nitric oxide. That's what that was found. So
okay. Next is their micronized amino acid matrix, 2 grams. You've got your branched chain amino acids, your leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And then you've got micronized glutamine, L-arginine, taurine, alanine, carnitine tartrate, and L-citrulline.
Yeah, the micronized stuff, I mean, that's just adjectives. There's no need to micronize amino acids. It's kind of silly.
No.
And it sounds like they're just adding it free-form amino acids to the protein.
Yes.
They're not saying this is what's in there. So, the addition of free-form amino acids to a protein, all the peptide-bonded amino acids, I think that's probably not the best thing because they're probably not going to absorb very well in that competitive environment. I think the peptides, well, we know the peptides are going to absorb better.
All the other protein that's inside here is going to absorb before these free-form amino acids.
It's much more stable, so that might be more fluff for the label.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a selling point of a lot of these proteins. Next, you've got your enzyme complex, beetroot fiber, amylase, protease, cellulase, lactase, and lipase. All those are just, you've got your fiber and you've got enzymes. Amylase to break down sugars, protease for protein, cellulase is cellulose, fiber, lactase for milk sugar, and lipase for fats. It's in there just to help with the breakdown.
With the beetroot fiber and all those enzymes, the total serving size is 200 milligrams, which is on the low side. So you'd want to, I just don't know how much beetroot fiber there could be in there. Or, I mean, something's getting sacrificed, so that's just too low of a dosage if that's what we're looking at from that. So now the protein sources, now this is why they call it hydro, are some of the hydrolyzed proteins. And basically what they're doing is taking normal, let's just say, whey protein peptide, and they're chopping it into smaller pieces. That's what it means when you hydrolyze it. And the degree of hydrolysis we're not aware of. You can't, 100% hydrolyze whey protein. It's entirely too bitter, and you'll end up with a ton of residue in terms of free-form amino acids, and I think pretty much won't be able to flavor it. So you'll run into some issues there.
Yeah, just going through the protein blend, the first one is pretty much what makes this product, I guess, is the CreaPep Enriched Protein Blend. You've got your hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, your micellar casein, and your hydrolyzed whey protein. And you also have whey protein concentrate and hydrolyzed egg albumin. So that's your CreaPep protein. And just
the blend, so we really don't know how much of each is in there.
Exactly, and they did hydrolyze 3 different protein sources in here, and then they mixed them with micellar casein and whey protein concentrate. Generally, when you hydrolyze a protein, to get the maximum benefits from it, you'd want to take it by itself.
Yeah, you want to get the faster absorption would be the idea.
Because the micellar casein and whey protein concentrate could possibly slow down the absorption.
Oh, they do. I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
and the fat too. That's it. There's 2
grams of fat. Going through the rest of them, there is some fats in here. There's creamer that they call it, which is glucose syrup solids, coconut oil, sodium caseinate, dipotassium phosphate, silicon dioxide, titanium dioxide, mono and diglycerides, turmeric, and annatto extract, and then some natural and artificial flavorings.
Sucralose and Ace K being the ones
Yeah.
you'd probably be familiar with, so those would be the main ones.
They add this creamer to it, I guess, to possibly give it a creamy texture, maybe make it taste better.
Probably, that would be the best guess, or maybe they're calling it a creamer for a different reason, not sure. But, yeah, so overall, I mean, it's not a bad product, it's just, you know, they're marketing it more toward post-workout. I mean, that's what they're trying to tell you to do on the bottle. You know, typically post-workout, you know, and this is all relative to what you've been doing leading up to your workout, how intense your workouts are, but typically you want about a 2-to-1 ratio of carbohydrates to protein because you want an insulin spike, and you want really fast-absorbing proteins following the workout if you want to be really specific to that time frame. Again, relative to what you've done leading up to that period of time. You know, if you've been eating tons all day before your workout and then you have a pretty regular workout, well, it's not going to be as imperative that you take in carbohydrates and protein post-workout because you probably never burned any glycogen anyways.
Exactly.
So it's a relative term. But if you're somebody who's, you know, trying to stay lean and you're watching your, you know, carb intake leading up to your workout, well, then you're going to want a nice dose of carbs with your protein so as not to waste your protein for energy through gluconeogenesis, your body turning protein into carbohydrates. You want your protein to build muscle and you want your carbohydrates to replenish glycogen.
Yeah, so if you were to use this as a post-workout like they're recommending, you're probably going to want to mix it with some carbohydrates because it says there's 7 grams of carbs in here.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Low carb in it before your workouts.
So yeah, you might want to mix it maybe with some juice or you know, adding a carbohydrate powder to it.
Yeah.
You could do that. And you know, like John was saying, the faster absorbing proteins which are in this product.
But it's not like your body selects and says, "Oh, let's absorb this one fast," and then it's all relative because now it's a blob as far as your body's concerned because there's the other types of proteins. So that's one down to it. I do like the fact that there's 5 grams of creatine monohydrate in there. You know, so if you did want to make this your creatine supplement, you could. I think ultimately this is replacing the old product Aftermax that they made, which also had, I think, 5 grams.
It may,
of creatine.
yeah.
I think basically what they did, right, and they took down the carbohydrate content. I think that's the main.
Yeah, I think it was the same thing, just cut the carbs.
Because Aftermax was discontinued, correct?
No, Aftermax still.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I stand corrected.
You know what? They Optimum Nutrition tends to come out with newer products that replicate older ones, but they keep those around because I guess you could say an oldie but a goodie kind of deal that people still look for.
People like it, so you know it's a cheap post-workout, you know, so that's kind of what they're going for. But yeah, in terms of the, you know, hydro thing, I mean, it's a lot of marketing, and again, there's nothing wrong with the product. It's just that, you know, you don't really get what you pay for when you get it with micellar casein and fats and stuff. The idea, the notion of what hydrolyzed protein should do is just not being met when you do that to it. So you're kind of saying, well, here's this, and then let's throw this other stuff in there, and you know, make it sound cool. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So again, nothing wrong with it. You know, price point on it, I'm assuming is a little bit higher than the Aftermax. It's going to change from time to time.
Much higher than Aftermax. I'm not exactly remembering the cost, but it is more expensive than.
It's got a higher retail.
Yeah, higher retail. There's a higher retail price than your regular standard whey proteins. Definitely.
Yeah, and it'll sell well. It's got the Optimum name on it, so. And they do a pretty good job here. They break down exactly how many amino acids you should expect from a typical serving. Big thing to watch with these is just to make sure like what it's based on. You know, sometimes you'll see on some powders they'll say it'll have these huge numbers for amino acids and say based on 200 grams. You know, it's like, well, of course it's going to be high. You've got a 200-gram serving that you're looking at, so that's really what you're looking at is the ratios. And you know, typically anything that's going to have a whey or casein in there, a fair amount should have a very good ratio of branched chain amino acids. There should be a lot in there, so. That's just something to consider. So a lot of the time, that's just, you know, it's another marketing thing. But sometimes people like to see that and know. So overall,
yeah,
you know,
it's a good.
It's a decent product.
You know, product. Yeah.
It's just more of a, you know, does the cost of it match, you know, what you're getting, and like we said, kind of some of the.
Yeah, I mean, you taking it for face value, you may be better served getting a good high quality whey protein supplement at a lesser price.
Yeah, if you're looking for fast absorbing, that's your goal, then that's what you do. So, all right. Well, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and post them in the comment section of the blog or the video. We're more than happy to answer them. Also, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/bestpricenutrition. Thank you.